What's up, everybody? Welcome to Storm Sessions, brought to you by OmegaXL Sport. My name is Danny Enriquez, and we are here with the Miami Hurricanes' newest running back, sensation, fan favorite, Marty Brown. Marty, how we doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing excellent, man. Doing excellent. So you're here. You're acclimated. You've been on the field. You've been here for a minute. Just how's the Miami experience going for you so far?
It's been great. The coaches, the players, everybody, the fans been showing me a lot of love, and it's been easy. It's been an easy transition just being here.
So we're recording this right after the Notre Dame game. So kind of your introduction to the broader college football world. And obviously you were in the championship the game before, so it's not like you're a rookie to this, but definitely a different kind of spotlight.
For sure.
How many people are reaching out that you may not have heard of from like 2 or 3 years, just trying to say what's up?
It was a whole bunch. Yeah, it was overwhelming, but I got to a little bit, but I still got to reach out to some that texted me. So,
what was that feeling like? Again, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know necessarily. I know you think the rotation is going a certain way, but like you don't know what the whole thing is. Right. And now seeing it and having such a huge impact in really the biggest game of the college football weekend. What was that like?
It was awesome. It was just being ready when my name's called, really. I knew I was going to get in. Coach told me I was going to get in eventually, but it was just, matter of time, just cheering on my teammates, being ready when my name's called. So,
and your mentality, just that touchdown run, right? That was obviously all hard. We saw you push through and get in there. Well, I know it was all instinct, so it's hard to think back to what was going through your head. But a run like that, like, what's your attitude on that?
I told myself, like, just finish in the end zone. Right before I was like, right here, we're 5-yard line, I believe, just finish in the end zone. So that was my whole thought process, and just keep going, keep turning my legs and finish in the end zone. Yeah.
Just the whole vibe of Miami. You're coming from the Midwest, obviously different kind of deal in many, many different respects. The stadium, just the whole atmosphere, crazy celebrities on the sideline. I know you were able to get out fishing too with some of your teammates and see the city from that angle, catch some mahi-mahi. So just like, let's start there. Fishing. What was that being out there with your boys out there fishing?
Yeah, it was crazy. The waves it was a rocky day, first of all. We were jumping up and getting some airtime out there. I think we were going pretty fast. And then everyone was talking at first, and then all of a sudden everyone just got quiet because all of us got seasick. So when I started throwing up first, and then Lyle and Fletch. It was crazy.
When the fish started biting, I'm guessing the second wind came in.
Yeah. And then I picked it up and we started fishing more and went back to shore after that. So
let's take it back to the beginning. Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Twin brother, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing that was a pretty competitive situation growing up.
Yeah, for sure. He played linebacker. He's always a defensive player. And we always go head to head, like in the backyard or anything it was. We were always competitive towards one another. So,
Was it like a little Royal Rumble too? Like, was there some physicality?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We used to get in fights a lot. So, I mean, he kept me tough. I kept him tough. So it was just a blessing, having a twin brother and competing every day, literally every day when we were younger. But yeah.
Was it 50-50 as far as who would win?
Yeah, it was 50-50. Yeah.
What about the wrestling matches and the brawls? Would that be 50-50 too?
Yeah, 50-50. My mom has a lot of videos of us wrestling and stuff back in the day. It was one time we got in a big fight and she had it in her phone, but it was all just play around. I think I came out of nowhere and kicked him, and then he got back up, slaying me, and it was just like that. We were always competing and fighting, but after we got older, we learned to settle down and just to love on each other. So.
Well, I know you played a lot of sports, right? Not just football, but baseball, basketball, track. But I want to ask you about wrestling, because when I think Midwest, wrestling is the sport that comes to mind. Tell me about yourself as a wrestler, just how you got down on the mat, and just in terms of how that helped your game that we see now.
Yeah, I wrestled from elementary school to sophomore in high school. I wish I would have kept going, but it was a great experience in terms of competing in 1v1s and not giving up. I feel like every kid should do wrestling just to have that competitive nature behind there, and just I feel like, to me, wrestling's the hardest sport. It's a full body workout. It's hot. It's 130 degrees, probably more than that when you're working out on the mat, sweating, it's brutal. So being, wrestling as a kid and playing football, I feel like it correlates for sure.
And for those who haven't wrestled, the 6 minutes of a match, or however long they are these days, it's short time, but you probably feel afterwards more tired than running a bunch of 110s.
Yeah, for sure. It's a full body workout. Your legs, your arms, everything just like numb. You can't feel anything.
You mentioned just the one-on-one nature of it and the people, everybody watching and that part of it. But just even the way you run, dragging guys, your balance and stuff, do you think it helped you just with that balance and that core strength?
Yeah, for sure.
So you were balling in high school. It's not like, people might look at your path and say this guy was a late bloomer, but I went back and watched your high school highlights and you were balling at that point as well.
Yeah.
Did you feel like maybe you should have gotten a little more attention at that time when you're out there running the way you were running?
Yeah, I do. I always wonder why I wasn't getting much attention, but I didn't think too hard on it. I was like, whoever school give me a chance, I'm gonna take the best opportunity and do it, and just perform and keep pushing through. I didn't really think too much, but always did wonder and sat back what am I doing wrong to not be, recruited to the highest,
I think some other people might have been doing their jobs wrong on that one, but that's for me to say. On top of playing sports and growing up in Nebraska, anything you like to do, video games, just hanging out, anything, any hobbies?
I feel like in high school, we thrifted a lot, clothes, fashion and stuff. Midwest weather, so coats and jackets and all that stuff. Baggy clothes.
What was your go-to on the jackets?
My brother actually inspired me with some jackets he had. It's some weird designs. I don't know. Whatever you find, it's holy grails. You just gotta find the right ones.
You wear that one day a year here down in Miami.
Yeah,
so make sure.
Not wearing much jackets, just shorts. I haven't even been thrifting down here because I know it's I can't even wear those types of clothes down here.
So your mom mentioned that when she used to work out a lot and then you would tag along with her to the gym.
Yeah.
She talked about you running hills and doing all those kind of things. What made you so driven just from the physical work standpoint on top of, you're wrestling, you're playing football, you're doing enough within organized football to do extra stuff. What made you do all that extra stuff?
Just knowing that I always wanted the best out of myself. I feel like if I was going to do something, I wanted to give everything into it and give it my all to see the best results. So that was my mindset into it. And like you said, going back to high school, being lowly recruited and stuff like that, seeing other guys, my friends getting highly recruited, that really pushed me to just keep working, staying down, being humble, and just, have a worker's mindset. And just one day that, the door will open for me. So that was my mindset towards running hills. And me and my brother, we walked to the park probably 3 miles away from my house. Late night, just run hills and come back, walk back home. Yeah. And
positivity, it's a word that comes up a lot talking to your mom. She mentions that you're just a positive person. We can see it talking to you now. And then you think you have affirmations and stuff on your walls and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Like words of wisdom. So talk about that and how important that is to your mindset.
Yeah, that's very important. I remember sophomore years, COVID, I was I'm just keep working, everything's closed, got nothing to do. I had 40-pound dumbbells in my room. I'll do sets of push-ups, then curls, then military press, all that every day, for every day. Once in the morning when I go to sleep, that whole routine every day, and then run hills every day. That's how it was for me. That was my routine. Yeah, that was. Wait, what did you say again?
Just the positive affirmations, though.
Yeah, and then and I wrote some couple stuff on my wall just to tell me what I'm working towards, go D1. I had wrote be a fiend to the pain because it was hard. So you got to embrace the pain to thrive in this world. So that was my mindset.
And a lot of pain to the defenders trying to tackle you as well. So North Dakota State, which we all know, one of the top, probably the top program in FCS. Sounds like you kind of connected with them early, and your mom mentioned that you would go to camps by yourself.
Yeah.
I never heard of that. Well, tell me about it, because obviously you're not from North Dakota.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
Yeah, I would go to a lot of camps by myself. I had a car, so I was driving to St. Louis. I drove to NIU. I drove to KU. I was gonna drive to Wyoming, but I was I don't know about Wyoming. North Dakota's recruiting me harder. You know what I'm saying? So I drove up to North Dakota, in the middle of the night one time. I'm it was the first camp, but they were on me so much about going up there. And I was like, I'm definitely going to get the offer because they've been on me. I went to the junior day already. It was like I was working that same day. I was working at a car wash. And then it was like 8:00. The camp's the next day, like in the morning. Yeah. It's 8:00, 6-hour drive. Got off of work. I'm like, I'm tired. I don't know if I want to go up there. It's already 8:00. And I told my mom, she had work. So she's always working. She works nights. So I was like, I'm going to just drive up, Mom. They told me I was going to get the offer. They were recruiting me the hardest. I'm going to drive up. So I drove in the middle of the night all the way to NDSU. I just pulled over a couple of times, catch some Z's, and then got back up to it. And I arrived at the camp a little late, probably 30 minutes late, but they understood. So, I had a great camp. They offered me, Coach Ince offered me, and it was, the rest was history after that.
That's not even city driving too, man. You're out there in the Wild West.
Nothing. There's nothing. I-29, straight shot. It's a boring drive, but it's easy. So
that work ethic, because you mentioned you're in the car wash. Were you washing the cars?
It was a club car wash, just power spraying. I wasn't it's not that hard, but
you were doing, but you're working, and then also the football work and the extra work, and then going to camps. What led to that work ethic? Was it just watching your mom and her working nights and everything else?
Yeah, for sure. Just seeing, also my grandpa, just seeing him work. He drives trucks too, so driving, he'll come home and do everything he can to help us. He'll work on our cars and all that. He's good with cars and stuff like that. So seeing him work and seeing him drive trucks is just just seeing he's around 60, yeah, and he's just doing all this. And it's what am I doing? I got to work too. So, I'm not going to complain. Everyone's working, so why not me? So I'm going to just keep working like everyone else is.
So North Dakota State, let's give them some love, because unbelievable program, obviously a championship program, which we'll get to in a second, but just being there and when you got there and just seeing kind of how they operate and how they get down, what's the secret sauce to their success, why they've been so dominant in FCS?
Just a player-led program. And then also Jim Kramer, he's the head strength coach. The way he's implemented everything from a freshman towards seniors, he sets the standard for sure, and then everyone just follows it. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple system that we have at NDSU. It's you just take on the culture and abide by everything, and you'll have success.
And you were patient too, right? You redshirted the first year.
Yeah, didn't play a game, just watched everyone, learn, grow, and second year, the rest was history. So,
but I want to ask about that first year, because you're in North Dakota State. I know you're from the Midwest, but still, this is a different atmosphere. Probably not a lot going on as far as distractions. So you're not playing, but you're still kind of locked in. What were you doing that year that you weren't playing?
Really just learning and being on scout team. There was a great defense we had. A lot of physical guys, Eli Mostart, Kubitz, everybody. I can list a whole bunch of guys, but everybody was just pushing me. I was on scout team the whole year, so I'm getting hit by big dudes, big dudes every day. So it was making me better. So
they're probably seeing you though, all right, we got a good one coming. In the future.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So first year you're playing, I remember I went back and watched some of those games. In the beginning, didn't feel like you were playing as much. I mean, you were playing, but it was a much more close rotation.
Yeah.
And you kind of took over the job. So what was that like, getting on the field and then earning more and more playing time?
Yeah, it was awesome. Just really not getting into my head. Just, staying humble and keep working every day and just showing up to practice, giving it my all, and just practicing hard, being consistent in what I do. Really. Yeah.
You get to the FCS playoffs, obviously go all the way, win the championship. You win the Walter Paris, the Jerry Rice Award. I'm sorry, as the best young player in FCS. Cam Ward won that award. Shedeur Sanders, Terrence West, Chase Edmonds, a couple guys that made the NFL as running back. So obviously a huge honor, right? What was that like to just finish? A year ago, you're redshirting on scout team. Now you're winning this award. You're winning the championship. You're scoring touchdowns in the championship game. What was that like?
It was awesome. Going into the season, a couple guys asked me what were some goals that I had. And I was I just wanted to contribute and be a great teammate. That's literally what I said. And I was that's a regular generic answer. I'm that's my goals. I didn't really think about stats and stuff like that. I just wanted to pour into my team, and that's what came out of it. So
This fall, the Canes are taking over paradise again. Canes Weekend of the Bahamas returns October 31st to November 2nd, right here in the heart of Nassau. Choose your vibe, the bold, laid-back energy of the Point Margaritaville Beach Resort, or the timeless charm of British colonial Nassau. 2 beachfront escapes, 1 legendary weekend. Enjoy special rates starting at just $159 per night. Plus, big-time fan energy, exclusive events, Hurricanes legends, and an unforgettable island-style watch party. Lock it in now at bahamas.com/Canes Weekend. Terms and conditions apply.
Then season ends, again, storybook year. You do everything you set out, all the goals you set out, including being a good teammate. You do all that. You enter the portal. Was that just about getting more exposure, just kind of being at that FBS level, that Power 4 level?
For sure, yeah. I mean, my dream was always to play at the highest level. Not saying NDSU is not like a great level to play at, for sure. You know, they play at the highest level. I feel like they can compete with a lot of teams in FBS, for sure.
A lot of pros coming out of there too.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, we're always getting guys coming out of there. For me, I just wanted to play and showcase my talents at the highest level, like every week. So that's why I jumped in the portal and just, yeah, you know.
A lot of schools came after you. I know
sure.
Cal was on you hard, Nebraska, which, you know, I'll say it so you don't have to say it. Probably should have been on you harder the first time around.
Yeah.
But what was that like going from somebody who really you're driving to places to get offers as a high school kid, and then now everybody's coming after you and you're the one that people are coming to? What was that shift like? Hey, now everybody wants me. What was that like for you?
It was kind of crazy because like you don't know what to expect, but like now it's just like it didn't really feel like any different. Really, it's just like because you can only pick one school, so I'm knowing like Miami was the option for me. So I'm not really looking too much into other schools. In my head, I really wanted to be here, so I wasn't really like too strung out about like other schools reaching out to me and stuff like that.
So tell me about what you saw just coming to Miami and meeting the staff, meeting some of your future teammates. Like, what was that like on the visit? Just the whole vibe from the program.
Yeah, Alec, he came in with love. Coach Merritt, Coach Kirschenball, they were like adamant to get me and always, texting me. Like it was just like nonstop text. It was kind of overwhelming, but you know, my agent told me it was going to be like that, so I understood, how it was. But they were adamant to get me, and I jumped on it. So,
and a lot of people in your position might be like, "All right, well, look, they have a lot of good running backs, but certainly 2 experienced, really good running backs that based on how much they played last year, are going to play a lot this year."
Yeah,
a lot of people might just say, "I'm just going to go to the kind of the easiest place to play."
Yeah,
you went a different route. And you went with a room that was already loaded before you even got there. Obviously, we know how it turned out. You're able to make a huge impact. But that decision, what went into that, going to a loaded running back room?
Really just seeing how they rotated last year, seeing that a lot of guys had success having a 3-back rotation, and also just knowing that you don't need a lot of carries in today's world, like as a running back. Our lifespan in terms of, football is not that long. So I know that you got to rotate and keep your legs fresh if you want a long career in this game. So, and also I just wanted to be in a program that's going to push me for like the NFL, prepare me for the NFL. And I feel like competing every day and just not being complacent, because you know that your job or anything can be taken at any time. So being that headspace every day to just compete and just go out there and play is going to prepare me for the bigger level. So.
In the school, a lot of people here in Miami, they think about, what we saw at Hard Rock, right? Celebrities everywhere, the bright lights.
Yeah.
But really the school, Coral Gables here is much different.
For sure.
So what's that been like, just being here on campus, being part of the University of Miami?
Yeah, it's peaceful, everyone's, get hyped up about like Miami, but really in Coral Gables is really just peaceful, and everyone's to work, everyone's doing their own thing, and, it's just awesome, Yeah.
So when you're working like you work, you mentioned the people around you, the examples you had about hard work, but we know this is not easy stuff that you're doing. A lot of times you're waking up early. You do not want to work out, right? You got to kind of convince yourself to work out and push through. What drives you to push through when it's like, I really don't want to wake up and do, power cleans and squats and all the stuff you got to do?
Yeah. That's funny. 'Cause like today I had that thought. I was like, dang. I was like, then I just remembered people depending on me. So I was just like, got up and do it. You got to do it. People depending on me. I got things to accomplish, and I'm letting myself down if I was to, not do the right things. And, and also like being here, I know a lot of kids want to be in this position, so not throwing that away, so being humble and being grateful to be here and not letting this opportunity slip. So
I know we talked on Notre Dame game earlier, but I know your mom was in the stands. Do you have other family in the stands? Like, was your brother out there and your sister?
No, yeah, just mom. Yeah.
So your mom being out there in the stands and seeing that in that environment, everybody's watching you. Yeah. And it's like kind of everything, I'm guessing a lot of things you dreamed about and maybe didn't know were going to happen. What was that like, just knowing that your family was watching, your mom's in the stands, and just that feeling of, hey, okay, now it's happening?
Yeah, it was kind of, like I said, it was more just me like wanting to do more for the team. Like I couldn't even really think about anything else to just winning, really. So I didn't really think like too hard on it. But after the game, had some time to collect and just realize how grateful I was and blessed, to perform in front of my parents. And yeah, it was just awesome.
So let's fast forward a little bit after your career, after your successful NFL career. What do you see Marty Brown doing, let's say 20 years from now?
Shoot, that's a good question. Probably like just helping out charities, stuff like that, traveling the world, always giving back. I always wanted to be an actor, so I told my advisor this, Blake. I told him I want to act one day, so hopefully I'm in like the acting business or something like that. Yeah,
you're in a pretty good place. I saw some of your teammates do a commercial for a cruise line. They're acting. So
that was nice. That was nice. CC, what?
Armando, I know, was in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Torre, all them. Yeah.
Where are some of the places you want to visit? You mentioned traveling the world.
Everywhere. I mean, Africa, Japan, everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of questions here from the fans. Obviously, you made a big impression. So a lot of Canes fans wanted to ask you questions here. What's your favorite part about being a Miami Hurricane?
My favorite part about being a Miami Hurricane, I have to say, I don't know, just waking up and knowing that you're in Miami and having a whole bunch of legends like on Green Tree. Everyone talks about Green Tree, and like, first of all, just knowing that all the great players that came out of here, and then knowing that you're in the shoes of being like, could be the next great player. That's really like the best feeling to me, because I grew up watching, Ray Lewis, all those guys, and just being in the opportunity and setting to be a great is just awesome.
Did you see any of those guys in the locker room after the game?
What did I see? I seen Michael Irvin. He was on the sideline, of course, but I didn't get to see Ray Lewis. I know he was out there, but I didn't get to see much alumni. Yeah, I didn't get to see Edgerrin James, and I know they're out there, but I didn't get to see.
They'll see you now after that game. Yeah. They'll come find you.
Mm-hmm.
What made you choose the U? We talked about the process, but ultimately, what put Miami over the hump?
The coaching staff and how everyone wanted me, and I just seen myself here, and I told myself I wanted to be here, and I trusted my gut, so I went with it.
Do you have any pregame routines or superstitions you do before the game?
Nah, not really. just stay level-headed, loose, and focused, really.
What's in your headphones before the game?
Nipsey Hussle.
Okay. Yeah. More West Coast flavor
West Coast,
there.
Yeah. Mostly just Nipsey Hussle. Yeah.
There you go. Hard Rock. What was that like being in that stadium, packed house, just kind of crazy atmosphere?
It was awesome. I mean, coming out the tunnel, everyone was like, hold on to someone. I'm like, what are they talking about? And then I see what they were talking about when the smoke like rushed us and stuff like that. I couldn't see. Like I almost tripped. Yeah. Cause like I let go. I'm like, what? Like I didn't know what they were talking about. Hold on to someone. Like that was just awesome. And then just seeing the fans, it was crazy.
I was talking to Wes on Monday after the game, and he tripped when he was walking out there. He was on the Jumbotron tripping. Mm-hmm. So you got to be careful, man. That was a scary situation.
Yeah, for real. Like I didn't know what they were saying. Like, hold on. I'm like, what?
Uniform combo. You only had one. You've had the classic. Any uniform that you want to try on or that you've already tried on?
The black. Yeah.
Very popular black. Answer.
Yeah. Yep.
Very popular answer. Who inspired you growing up?
Marshawn Lynch. just watching him run. And then who else? Barry Sanders.
Midwest guy.
I don't know why I'm blanking. Chicago Bears.
Walter Payton.
Walter Payton. Yeah, Walter Payton.
Another FCS guy too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Always watch Walter Payton, just how hard he ran.
So you'd watch highlights and stuff like that?
Yep. Every game before every game, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that's one of the rituals, just watching football highlights before a game.
Go. Maybe some kid's going to be watching highlights of you dragging Notre Dame into the end zone here.
For sure.
So Marty, man, appreciate you joining us on Storm Sessions. Remember to like and subscribe to the show, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, OmegaXL Sport. Appreciate you. Go Canes.
Yes, sir.